Today only. Do not anger.
Over time, energetically changing what is living within us.
Today only. Do not worry.
They come from a long tradition of Buddhist practice.
Today only. Be grateful.
Everything in the universe is made of energy that has taken form.
Today only. Practice diligently.
We think we're going to do something different. We cannot until we do something different.
Just for today, I will not anger. I will not worry. I will be grateful. I will be true to my way in being. And I will be compassionate.
Welcome. You have entered the realm of 1111 Talk Radio. Your host is SIMRAN. It's time to discover your own language with the universe. Empower yourself, broaden your mind, open your heart, and discover who you are. Now, here's your host, SIMRAN.
Our greatest lesson as human beings is that of self-love, compassion, kindness, service. And so often those are the things that we put by the wayside, not intentionally. Life gets busy. We get busy. Things happen outside. So how do we stay true to that practice? How do we not only provide those things to ourselves, but understand that giving ourselves the self-love, the compassion, the kindness, and the inner service, it's critical that we take the time to take care of ourselves, to understand that there are ways that we can initiate self-love, compassion, and kindness on the inside, and that also that inner service is as important, if not more so, for us to serve externally. Today we're talking about Reiki. We're talking about a modality that oftentimes is thought of as the external service. But there's a whole other level of Reiki that takes it deeper. And we're talking about the inner heart of Reiki. My guest today is Ifetayo White, and she's the founder and director of the Low Country School of Reiki and Choices Birthing and Wellness Support. Ifetayo is attuned in both the Western and Shinpiden Reiki 3 by Fran Stein of the International House of Reiki, and has a full Reiki practice where she consistently teaches, serves clients, and facilitates Reiki retreats. She has created a Reiki certificate program for doulas and families. Ifetayo's path is to dissolve barriers. Her highest intention as a Reiki teacher and practitioner is to support those who come to her to remember who they truly are as beings of power and light, and to remember the true self. We're talking today about how Reiki can be such a powerful practice, not only for the self, but for our world at this time, and also her new book, Reiki Heart and Soul, Many Stories, One Bright Light. Welcome, Ifetayo, to 1111 Talk Radio.
Thank you, SIMRAN.
I started off the program speaking of the Reiki precepts. They're a powerful way to begin each day, and I would love it if you would state those Reiki precepts as an initiation into today's show with your energy, with your inner heart of Reiki.
I am devoted to the precepts. I adore the precepts, and I'm grateful for you inviting me into this space to share the 5 Reiki precepts with those who are tuning in. They are a devotion practice, and as I share with all of my students, the precepts are not just words, but they are energy transmissions, and that will change us as we have a practice of reciting them daily or as often as we can. There are many translations of the precepts. I'll just preface by saying this because the precepts came to us from Japanese language and culture. Those who have translated those words to their own preference and knowledge. So the precepts that I'll share this morning are those that I love the most. The translation of the precepts that of which many I have read about and learned, This particular translation is the one that is my practice. Just for today, I will not be angry. Just for today, I will not worry. Just for today, I will be grateful for all my many blessings. Just for today, I will be true to my way and what I'm here to do. Just for today, I will show compassion for myself and all living beings.
A powerful intention to begin and end each day with, the state of mind that the collective is in. There's a lot in the air. There's a lot of anger. There is a lot of worry. There is a lot of ingratitude or indifference that exists in our world today, and it comes from a lot of pain. The fear of seeing what's out there and trying to figure out what's going to happen in the future, or not understanding other sides and creating more and more division. This seems so simple, Ifetayo, yet why is it so powerful when those attuned to Reiki begin to utilize these precepts on a daily basis?
I believe that everything is energy. I believe that we as human beings are energetic beings. If we look at quantum physics, science will show us that everything in the universe is made of energy that has taken form. So when we reflect on that, we will understand that our thoughts and our feelings, our ideas, our beliefs are all forms of energy until they are expressed in the form of writing or art. We don't see those ideas or words or thoughts because they are energetic. So the Reiki, for me, and I'm speaking from my understanding, of course, and how I would teach, the Reiki precepts are also energetic as words. They come from a long tradition of Buddhist practice and have been recited for hundreds of years by many practitioners. Actually, these are five of the 200 and some. These words, as all words, carry energy, and these words have specific energy. They came from a specific practice and have a specific result. As we practice the precepts and recite them, we are over time energetically changing what is living within us. So we're infusing ourselves with the energy of these words and these precepts to energetically transmute and transform what might be living in us that's contrary. As we know, we've heard many times that there cannot be change when we do the same things over and over again. If we continue with the same behaviors and beliefs that we have always had, and we think we're going to do something different, we cannot until we do something different. Actually, that's the understanding under the precepts to give us a tool energetically to begin to change in a really simple way what might be living in us of anger and worry and ingratitude and not being sure of who we are and what we are here to do, and also living out of unforgiveness and compassion. The beauty and the simplicity, the ease of having a practice of reciting the Reiki precepts.
This is just one part of the practices of Reiki. And for those that Reiki now is practiced in hospitals, individuals utilize it all of the time as a healing modality. It's widely used as an external form of creating healing. What is distinctly different in the approach that you shared with me is you have become Reiki. That
Yes.
Reiki becomes an inner heart practice, something that is completely for the self, and then becomes something that is to serve others. Talk about that inner pointing and the embodiment as Reiki, as a distinction from what many people see Reiki as.
I love that question. If I could just give a brief history of my own, I was attuned Reiki after 10 years later than my friends who had become Reiki in the 80s. I was attuned in the middle 90s to the more Western way of Reiki, which was the predominant way at that time. The focus was mainly to train individuals to have a hands on healing practice or a distance healing practice, where the intent was to be able to share Reiki energy, which is universal life force energy, to individuals who were requesting healing support in their lives, physical, emotional, mental, or spiritual. For me, in my own personal journey, there was a time years hence that I began to feel that there must be something more to Reiki. I enjoyed sharing Reiki with clients and family, friends. I had become a Reiki teacher by that point in the later 90s. I enjoyed teaching a lot. Simran, I was always one who was devoted to spirit. And there was a part of the Reiki practice that was not, I didn't feel connected with in that way, even though I knew on a very deep level that Reiki was a connection with source energy, with spirit. Universal life was energy. That's what we are connecting ourselves with and sharing. I continue to ask the universe to bring to me or to answer for me what this void was about and if there was a way to fill it. 2018, I was introduced to a book, The Inner Heart of Reiki, by Franz Steiner, who was a Reiki teacher in Holland. That book immediately answered every question I had about an inner practice of Reiki, a Reiki practice that requested from me a deeper devotion to the oneness with the divine that I was looking for, that also gave me practices to bring me back into that space, that introduced me to meditation practices, to breathwork practices, to a deeper understanding of the symbols that we receive in Reiki 2 level, what their inner meanings actually are, as also tools of devotion that brought me the Reiki precepts in a way other than memorizing and reciting 5 statements. It brought me into a place of receiving these precepts, invitations to grow, invitations to become more of the human being that I yearn to be. The gratitude that I experienced at that time, and then subsequently meeting Franz Steiner, who became my second Reiki 3 mat teacher in 2020. And it's been 5 years since meeting Franz. And as a result, not only has my Reiki practice changed, but I have changed as a human being. My life has changed. The way I teach obviously has changed. This has been an extraordinary gift, has brought me so much more in alignment. The practice of Reiki has become much more of a lifestyle for me, of a way of being, of an anchoring in of a practice for my own spiritual and human experiences.
When I look at the things that are taking place in our world right now, it does seem like they're all pointing us back toward ourselves. They're pointing us back to
Yes.
rediscovering the divine within, allowing ourselves to see all these places that we are out of alignment. And so when you talk about the way you have now experienced Reiki and the way that you attune others and teach others, it really feels like a transition from not only the mental, intellectual side of ourselves toward the more feeling heart of ourselves, but a real shift from the doing nature of things that keep our energy constantly going outward
Yes.
toward the being embodiment that allows our energy to be amplified inwardly so that it can overflow outwardly. And that feels like a very different kind of human being.
I am in total agreement with what you're saying. Absolutely. In this way of practice of Reiki, I was introduced to the knowing of our true selves. I was brought back into the space of recognizing and acknowledging this self of us that is always present to us, that is so alive and full of light, that is who we are. Is through this particular way of practicing Reiki. All of us who practice this way have been introduced or reintroduced to what we refer to as the true self, as the essence of who we are. And all of those practices of the precepts, the symbols, the attunements, the hands on practices for ourselves and others, and the meditations all have the purpose, Simi, of the return to our true selves, the return to that self that lives deep within us, that we are on the human journey of returning to and becoming more and more aligned with and living more and more through. Sharing Reiki with myself with my hands, sharing Reiki with others is an exquisite way to live. And I know that from this place, my ego is not involved. I'm sharing from what I know and who I know my true self to be, my essence to be, as made in the image and likeness of the divine. And it no longer is a connection with an ego way of practicing. And it is an ever growing practice of return, an ever growing practice of oneness. This doesn't happen immediately and automatically. I can speak from this place because this has been my particular practice for the last 5 years and a daily practice.
Being attuned to Reiki helps to shift life in the directions that our soul and our heart truly want, even if our mind hasn't caught up with those ideas yet. Talk about some of the changes people experience.
Reiki in this way will always bring us back to the place of oneness with all of life, which does not exclude folks or any form of life, which will bring us back into a space of compassion for myself when I do move into places of judgment and comparison and division and derisiveness. Bring me into a place of compassion for others as how they are showing up. It will lead us into a place of living from the peace within that I want to experience and see in the world. I can't speak enough about this way of practice. I can express enough gratitude for my teacher, Franz Steiner, and for all the teachers who have moved into this way of being with Reiki. I am not in any way dismissive about other ways of Reiki practice because as Reiki practitioners, all of us who have been attuned to receive and carry and share this energy, we are making huge contributions to the world in raising the vibration and in infusing more light, however we practice Reiki. I'm very grateful for us all. And if we infuse any part of life with a pure essence, pure energy, it will begin to bring whatever it touches back into balance or homeostasis. That could be physical, the energy of emotions, it could be the energy of feelings, the energy we carry in our souls, soul memory, soul imprints. As human beings, we are composed of all of these fields of energy. So then we have this essence energy, this balanced energy that is forever with the intention of bringing everything on this planet into balance. That's the intention of this universal life force energy, the blessedness of that. when any one of us agrees to become attuned to Reiki energy, knowing that everyone and every life form on this planet is connected with this energy, is living because of this energy.
An enlightening anthology presenting the narratives of U.S. Reiki teachers and practitioners whose family and spiritual backgrounds expand the globe. This collection of experiences offers a distinctive rhythm and tone, contributing to the expanding Reiki community. This body of individuals is as diverse as humanity itself, encompassing various races, cultures, locations, and Reiki lineages. The new book, Reiki Heart and Soul, Many Stories, One Bright Light. Find out more by going to ifetayowhite.co. That link is in the bio description, along with the link to where you can order the book. She does have a book signing at the Pat Conroy Center in Beaufort, South Carolina, December 13th, in addition to other events in Hyattsville, Maryland, and D.C. around December 29th. Then you can go to ifetayowhite.co to find out more about that. Ifetayo is the founder and director of the Low Country School of Reiki and Choices Birthing and Wellness Support. For attunement, a class taught, or if you're looking for a speaker around Reiki and how it can take you into the inner heart of yourself, have her come and speak to you. Join my Substack. My publication is Beyond the Illusion, and you can find it at iamsimran1111.substack.com. That link is in the bio description. You'll actually receive all of the 1111 magazine issues on audio as part of that, in addition to the weekly prompt, inquiry, contemplation, and meditation that I provide to all of the subscribers on the annual membership. That link is in the bio description. We'll be right back after these messages.
You are listening to 1111 Talk Radio. SIMRAN is an award-winning author, publisher of 1111 Magazine, powerful speaker of wisdom, and a life mentor. Find out more at iamsimran.com. Now, back to 1111 Talk Radio.
I really enjoy working individually with people. If you're looking for some additional support and guidance, and you really want to dive into the subtle, then there are quite a few options on my website at iamsimran.com that have to do with shadow work or manifestation if you want a more focused approach on a particular thing, as well as individual sessions around deciphering signs, symbols, and synchronicities, gaining a better understanding of how the universe is speaking to you, your particular dialect. That link is in the bio description. From urban to rural, from ministers to retirees, from the African American to the Jewish and Ifa communities, each story within this new book, Reiki Heart and Soul, Many Stories, One Bright Light, shines a unique light on the practice of Reiki. These narratives are the lifeblood of a global community, united in their commitment to Reiki's powerful healing energy. These stories echo a singular potent message: we are one. This mantra encapsulates the unity within diversity that is the essence of the Reiki community. To allow the stories to illuminate your understanding of Reiki. Reiki Heart and Soul, Many Stories, One Bright Light. Go to ifetayowhite.co. If you've not been attuned to Reiki, or you have a group that would like a class, invite her to your area.
Having been a teacher for 25 years now, I have witnessed so many journeys, my students, and specifically my own journey. I am a self-reflecting person, so I'm always tracking myself in many ways. Reiki is the universal life force energy that is keeping everything alive on this planet. We understand Reiki is coming from the heavens, keeping us alive, coming down from the atmosphere, also coming up from the center of the earth, keeping us alive. And we know that when either of these two energies become polluted enough, we will not be here. It is just that simple. So if you think in terms of Reiki energy, universal life force energy being the most pure on the planet, the most balanced energy because it is a yin and yang. It is male and female. It is light and dark. It is pure balance. It is only when one becomes attuned, as we call the process, in becoming Reiki, we have processes which we call attunements, which are like initiation, known in other cultures and practices. With these processes, with this attunement, an individual is open to receiving, carrying, and the capacity to share more of this life force energy. That's the lesson called What is Reiki? As practitioners who have been attuned, we are more one with this universal life force energy all the time for the rest of our lives once we have received this attunement. So naturally, because of this attunement and we are carrying more of this life force energy, what is living in us is going to be affected. The infusion of this powerful, balanced energy will begin to change us cellularly. It can be subtle and it can be not so subtle, depending on what's living within each one of us. And we say Reiki 1 will change you, Reiki 2 will change your life, and Reiki 3 will change your world. This is one of those sayings in the Reiki world. Reiki 1 will change you because now you are carrying this life force energy in you all the time. As you activate it through any of those practices that we spoke of earlier, things are changing in you. How you think, how you process, the decisions you make, healings that have been waiting to happen. And then the more you practice and or become more attuned at another level, then this same energy is growing in you and it will begin to organize your life. People who were in your life before might drop away because your vibration has risen and is no longer a match for some of the folks in your life.
With you being in your eighth decade, that you are in your car teaching all over the country just at the drop of a hat. So that in itself speaks a lot to the Reiki energy that flows through you. How can Reiki support empowering that return to self when there's such a resistance to being with self?
It's one of the easiest ways to return to ourselves. The ease for me, incorporating Reiki into my life daily, either through, and it doesn't have to be just one practice, but the simplicity of calling forth Reiki and putting my hands on myself for 1 minute, an hour, as long as I have, and my meditation time. The ease for me of knowing that I can have an intention of breathing Reiki into myself from the universe any moment of the day as I'm driving, as I'm listening on a Zoom call, as I'm washing dishes or cooking, the ease of that for me. And because I am a Reiki practitioner and I do see clients, I am sharing Reiki a lot during a week. So that for me brings me back again to myself. As I'm sharing Reiki with someone else, I'm sharing from inside of myself and not as an outer practice. I'm sharing from the Reiki that lives within me and my heart and my soul. The recitation of the precepts, again, the knowing I am asking just for today for myself, just for today, may I be less angry. Just for today, may I be less worried. So again, I'm bringing the focus back to myself. Any of these beautiful offerings that a Reiki practice invites us into with such ease and grace, I can return to my essence, to my self, to my beingness, and live my life from there as I go along, because it will continue to grow in me as I continue to practice. just as a garden of beautiful flowers, as I water my garden, these practices are the watering of my spirit, of my true self, so that I will begin to notice that I'm showing up in those ways that my heart and soul have been asking me to show up.
Our societies condition us to always look outside of ourselves, to give our
Yeah.
power away in that way. And you wrote in your story within the book, I had refused to accept someone else's thoughts of what was good for me, again blind to the path being laid out to me. Learning to meditate was a catalyst of a complete life change. So coming back to ourselves, and I'm particularly referencing when you said, I lay hands on myself, with so much illness, depression, discomfort, unease that exists in the world, to realize that we have the power within our own hands and that the Reiki energy can course through us to initiate and activate our own healing is part of that alignment with the supernatural that then starts to bring that leakage of power outside of ourselves back to ourselves. Talk about the self-healing in really understanding that the time I take to lay my hands on my heart, on my thyroid, on my eyes, or on my knees, whatever area of myself is calling for love, is one of the greatest places of attention that the world needs right now.
I am a devotee of self love, knowing thyself, loving thyself enough to give myself what it is that I need. And how else am I to serve the world if I have not brought that loving care to myself first? It almost feels to me, without being judgmental, it almost feels backwards in a way when we are projecting so much out, sharing that we're healing so much on the outer when we have not brought the same love to ourselves first. And because my own life's journey has set me up with many experiences and many opportunities and many invitations for healing. I am an experiential learner, so I don't teach anything outside of what I have experienced. So many people who meet me now have no idea how many years I have devoted to my own healing. And for reasons of early diagnosis of depression, actually, that started in childhood at 4 years old. And then all the types of anxiety, depression, clinically diagnosed asthma, which I no longer have, high blood pressure. There's so many that I could name. And in my own practices, I have been able to balance all of these things out. I take no medication. I'm 80, as you mentioned. I'm not on any medications, and I never have really taken medications. I sort of always shunned the medicine to find more holistic and whole ways to bring a balance to my being. I just speak strongly the words of self love. Reiki came into my life with me not at all inviting it into my life. I was a meditator at the time that I became Reiki. I've always been a very strong meditator, which was the beginning of my healing and my emotional healing and mental healing. As I became a strong Reiki practitioner, giving myself Reiki every day, sharing Reiki with myself every day, bringing loving hands to my body every day, to my head, to my sacral, where lifetimes of memories live. I know that I was bringing the most balanced energy, the most loving life force energy to myself. It is a gift that keeps on giving. Boundless, expansive. Without my Reiki practice, I probably would have gotten there to the level of forgiveness and compassion for humanity and for my own personal experiences. Probably would have gotten there in time, but through my Reiki practice, I know that I have supported in ways greatly being able to live in the peace and the joy that I do because of the level of compassion and forgiveness I have for those experiences and for all of the experiences that we go through.
The attunements can be done in person, but also distant. That becomes powerful because many individuals may not realize that even the process of attunement, you can attune over Zoom.
Yes. The Reiki levels 1 and 2 in my practice, I attune those who are seeking Reiki certification and attunement to the first and second levels. I still have not received spiritual guidance to attune the Reiki 3 level virtually. But those of us who are familiar with and used to sharing distance healing, second level, will be familiar with the power of the energy that is transmitted. For me, there is no time, space, or distance when I'm sitting with a person on Zoom. We're right there together. So the energy of the attunements is just as real as it is that person is physically in sharing the same space with me where I teach. It has become much simpler, much more available for those whose hearts are calling to learn and to be attuned on the first 2 levels of Reiki with me. And I know there may be other teachers who attune all 3 levels. Right now, I am attuning those first 2 levels of Reiki virtually.
There are many that are in need of hope or in need of the glimmers of light possibility that exist out there. Share a little bit about how Reiki Heart and Soul, its stories, can help to bring back some of that hope and belief that not only is there light, but that our own efforts towards self-love, self-healing, self-knowledge contribute to that light.
I love this book. I have to say, I love this book, Reiki Heart and Soul. I was inspired to write a Reiki book, and I couldn't really come up with enough words to write a book. But what did come to me was the love of community, my love of community, my love of being a part of a community that is diverse and rich of experiences. So, Reiki Heart and Souls is an anthology of 22 stories from my Reiki community. All of the contributors and storytellers in this book are either students of mine or friends of mine who are part of my greater Reiki community, some of who are on different lineages that have Reiki practices that differ from mine, but who have powerful origin stories to share how they found Reiki or Reiki found them and their journeys into Reiki and as Reiki practitioners and Reiki teachers. What I love are the voices of these various teachers and practitioners. I love the Black male urban Reiki master voices. I love the very white Southern voices that no one would believe would be Reiki teachers if you met them, who are in my community and who are my friends who are in this book. I love the voices of the Ifa, Yoruba, African traditional spiritual priests who are Reiki teachers. I love the Latinx male gay voices in my book. All of the voices are rich for me. They are a part of the oneness of who I am and who you are, who we all are, that are brought forward in the forms of stories. It's been 3 years in the making with so many stories to be told and retold to give a bigger view of the brighter light in the Reiki world.
I invite you to get your copy of Reiki Heart and Soul, Many Stories, One Bright Light. Embrace the diversity, unity, and power of Reiki with stories from a culturally expansive community of practitioners. explore various cultural, geographical, and personal paths to this spiritual practice, and discover the richness of Reiki's universal energy healing. Thank you so much, Ife, for being on 1111 Talk Radio. It is always a delight.
Thank you so much, Simran, and I bless you and send you off with so much Reiki love on your journey as you continue to touch hearts and minds and souls of us. Those of us who are waiting for you and your words and your energy. Thank you.
Again, you can find out more at ifetayowhite.co. That link is in the bio description. If you're in the Beaufort, South Carolina area, definitely attend the book signing at the Pat Conroy Center, December 13th. If you're in Hyattsville, Maryland, or the D.C. area, then check out her website for December 29th and the events that are coming up there. Ifetayo White is the founder and director of the Low Country School of Reiki and Choices Birthing and Wellness Support. She is available for teachings, serving clients, and for facilitating Reiki retreats. You can get in touch with her about her Reiki certificate program for doulas and families as well. I invite you to explore Reiki, to move into your inner heart. Thank you so much for spending time. If you're looking for some additional support and guidance, and you really want to dive into the subtle, then there are quite a few options on my website at IamSimran.com that have to do with shadow work or manifestation if you want a more focused approach on a particular thing, as well as individual sessions around deciphering signs, symbols, and synchronicities, gaining a better understanding of how the universe is speaking to you, your particular dialect. That link is in the bio description. Until next week, I am Simran, in love, of love, with love, and as love. Be well.
Thank you for opening your mind to a new reality, your heart to greater compassion, and your experience of aliveness with 1111 Talk Radio. Join host Simran next Tuesday at 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern Time to step through the gateway of conscious living. You are not on the journey. You are the journey.